don't think we should kind of sugarcoat it or stand around it, but we got to plaster it, you know. Bad Boys Records, baby. Bad Boys. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
Get a little
East
serious.
Coast versus West Coast, and it don't look good on the East Coast. That's all I gotta say. It ain't looking too good on the East Coast. Um, for those of you all who don't know, I'm gonna get you guys hip, and I'm gonna go from a credible source. Here at CNN. So Sean Diddy, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, however way you want to call him, Sean, John, whatever. Sean Diddy Combs is currently in jail after being arrested on charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The rapper was taken into custody on September 16th after nearly a year of ongoing investigations, which included home raids and several lawsuits against him alleging sex abuse and rape. The allegations came to a head in September when Combs was indicted on three charges, and the judge denied the $50 million bail proposal that his attorney put forth. So,
Ouch.
I think
Ouch.
this is another this is another one of those topics and conversations that is a little difficult because it's not that whether we believe it or not, again, we're waiting for convictions and everything to actually come through and the actual verdicts to come through. But I kind of want to go back to the ideas of, you grow up on certain music and genre in your livelihood, right? Like, your R. Kelly's and, you grow up under, Bill Cosby, and then you hear about things that come to the head years later. And so
Mm.
you already have a persona or a visual representation of who they are and what they mean to you in life. But now that you're older, you're now conflicted and you're at a crossroad where you got to figure out, okay, was his success truly his? Or, what was going on that kind of got him to the level and, what all the crazy things were going on. So the floor is open. Hardboy, what's your take on this, man? We gonna start with the OG himself.
Okay. Well, to go in reverse order, when we look at these entertainers and we idolize them, it almost seems as if they have an alter ego or a split personality because for the longest time we were saying Aura is different than Robert.
Robert.
Robert is crazy. Aura was the genius in the
Right.
entertainment field.
We stepping in the lane of love, baby.
Yeah. So you got the Cosby guy, and then you got Bill, then you got William.
Oh
So
man, not
and
Will.
now we all
Lil
know
Will.
dog as P Diddy, Puffy, you name it. So it just seems that these people, we for one shouldn't set them on such a high pedestal, but of course we do because we love their art and they are geniuses in their own right. If you can, just throw that word around, but I think it also rings true that they are human and we should expect man to eventually show his true colors or whatever. So yeah, this is a tough one because we always root for ours, the Diddy's and the Cosby's, and then we pull back the veil and find out that we look back there and we see who's really pulling the strings or what they are doing for
Man
real.
behind the curtain, man.
Yeah, pull the curtain, and it's not pretty. So, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Come
So
on,
what's
Wendy.
up, man? What you got?
I just think I really like the part where you said about like idolizing because I think honestly at this point, me personally, nothing surprises me, especially when you think of the position of power that these
At
people
this
have.
point, you 12. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know, but like I just that
Yeah.
frontal lobe developed. That frontal lobe gets fully developed at 25. I'm coming up on that. You feel me? Not too much though. But it's like, when you think about the power that these people have and they have so much access to everything, human nature is to push limits. Even us at our smaller level, we get a little taste of something, we'll push the limit to see how far you go. Kids do that. So think of that on a grander scale. And like you said, I feel like unfortunately, we do, a lot of people as the public do attach themselves to these artists, whether it's like their music got me through a tough time, and that's totally understandable, totally like valid for sure. But at the end of the day, we have to be able to understand that we do not know these people. Like, yeah, we see them on the shows, and they're putting on this facade or this persona, but it's like at the end of the day, we don't know. That's acting. Like a lot, they literally get paid to be a different person, like to be an actor, to be an entertainer, to to appeal to the public. So it's like when things like this come out, it's heartbreaking, but we can't be too shocked logically in a way. We could be shocked of like, wow, that's disgusting. Like this is some vile stuff that's going on. That's obviously terrible, but it's not like, oh, I don't know, not believing it is tough because it's like you don't know these people from a can of paint. Like you really don't know these people. You don't know their character except for what we've been able to see. And obviously everybody's gonna put their best self on the spotlight, but there's some skeletons in everybody's closet, and these skeletons are very, very whoo. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. I'm not shocked. Anybody at that level has some real big skeletons. So
I hear you. I think I kind of want to touch on what Hardy Boy, and I'm gonna kind of pivot to Saran's point, but Hardy Boy did speak on the idea of, you know, idolizing and also trying to root for our own. And I think that, we as black people historically, we love to see us in successful positions and positions of power, right? So it's like, yes, we made it. We on top. We doing something. And to see it come from people who are just like us, right? Come from people who are hustlers, grinders, who may not come from the best situations, but prove that we can be at the top too. We can do things. So I think that's the difficult part right there, is just coming to terms with, dang, we've been rooting for dude forever. We've been riding with him.
Right.
And, to Saran's point, yeah, like, and she's speaking basically straight from Biggie, more money, more problems. And, you know, when you start getting into positions of power in a world that you're unfamiliar to, or, not groomed to be in, because we as black people historically and generationally aren't wealthy, aren't raised to be financially literate or understanding how to surround ourselves in those areas. So, by the time we get there from coming from where we are now, is like the world is our oyster, right? Our eyes are wide open. We're green to everything. So, to me, I think Diddy just might have got to a point and where it was more so, what's the word I'm talking about? Curiosity, right? Like you start trying new things, you start indulging yourself in things that you've never really been around. Um, and what I'm saying is like he's not deep diving into prostitution or sex trafficking. No, it started out as, I'm a poor little boy, now I got money, now I can get chicks all I want, right? And so it goes from I can get chicks all I want, and then you do that so much, you done smashed every race and every woman possible. And I'm not saying he did or didn't, but when you're at that level, what can't you do? And so now you start looking at things and doing things differently. And so I think, me personally, I just go back to the whole idea of supporting our own, right? It is hard to make that distinction. It is hard to see these icons start to fall. You know what I'm saying? And it's always a downfall after the fact. It's never during their rising. It's never really when they're at the top or the plateau. It's always like, now they're starting to make investment moves and building others and doing other things and stuff. And now all these skeletons, like Saran was speaking about, is coming out. And that's what's hard for me. That's the hard part. It's just seeing everything come out now, man. Like I don't, and basically my thing is on the time thing. And, at some point we all do, but seeing them now getting to the ages of, now it's time to kind of step away and let something new come in. You're kind of fading off. And I don't want your legacy. The last thing I remember is this ugly thing, is what always kills me. It's the legacy. We done built all this empire, all these great things we've done. And now towards the end of your lifeline, this big old headline is
Right.
the only thing I'm pretty much going to remember about you, and such.
And it's as you spoke on, you get in that circle. You're not used to being in that circle. As you get more famous, that's you start to get around people who, to your point, do these types of things. You just start to eventually evolve in a circle that you have no clue, and you can almost be baited or used because everybody knows, or that's the word on the street, a Diddy party is off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
So Diddy had parties and everybody attended, from the wealthy to the, you had to be somebody. Anybody that was somebody went to Diddy parties, supposedly. That's the word out. And all the way from when he was hustling, he used to attend Howard University, and he used to run back and forth to New York, back to Howard, to try to throw parties here at Howard. And he was grinding. So that has always been Diddy's stamp, is a Diddy party is off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go. If you somebody, you got to go to Diddy's party. And of course, his circle grew, and got big. Where you round, your big Rockefellers, or you round that big money, that real money. And so we don't know again what those people do in private, because to your point, son, if you've done everything, you just continue to push the envelope, man. You just push. And
that's
if
Saran
there's
said
any,
that about boundaries too.
right, if there's any takeaway that I'm trying to walk with, is, and it does seem like we get set up soon as now he's been probably doing this for years, but now that he's at the top and trying to cross over, is this, I don't want to use the race card, but it just seems like as soon as we get it going, we get torn down. And here we go again. Why you didn't come at him 5 years ago? Why you didn't come at him? So to that point, we just have to understand that the talk, we still are not, we haven't made it, man. We still got to go. We still got to be careful. We still need to be mindful of who we are, where we come from, and the situation that we find ourselves in. And it's heartbreaking every time we want to root for ours, and we go too far, man. We just get caught out there without our.
And I think the biggest thing about that, to Saran's point, is again, it's the power level though too. Like when you're up there, and we talk about, you know, yeah, it's when we start crossing that threshold of being rich to wealthy, basically, and having generational wealth, right? But a lot of it, I would say, also is, Diddy probably was striking fear into some people's heart. That's why it wasn't coming ahead earlier, right? I can pay it to go away. I can I can scare you to go away. You know what I'm saying? I got people who can find your people and stuff like that.
I
So
say that stuff in movies, when it be like, I know where your mama stayed. That's not made up, y'all. That is
well,
real.
everything, yeah, everything, regardless of fiction, fiction is based off fact. Like there
That's
is
what I'm
some
saying. And
form,
he got that type of power. Allegedly,
yeah,
I'm not, but he
right.
do.
I mean, that's not a legend. We know he got, it's Diddy. We know he got the power. Now, how he uses, but we know he got power like that because it's Diddy. Diddy been doing this. We used to watch his show with, like, when he made Day 26, Danny Kane, like the little shows he was making, bands, B2K and all of them. So, and he done rebranding himself, P Diddy, uh, Diddy, Dirty Money. Like I'm just saying, when you could just create your own personas, to Hardy Boy's point, you just make up alter egos, you know. And
But
again, it
when
goes.
a key alter ego to note is Brother Love. That one came out. That was his latest one, because
Yeah.
he knew, it's like they know
Something, yeah.
something's about to happen, so they try to transform and like, oh, I'm all for love and the people. Yikes! Another persona. I don't know.
My last point, I just hope no underage boys or girls come out. That part. You know what I'm saying? Because right now he's just a big deal. Oh yeah, well not just, but right now he's just a pimp. Oh, okay,
Right, he
he's
pimping out.
in the trade. Okay, he's a big time pimp. Da da da. But once you get that ugly stamp of minors and underage, you can't come back from that, man.
Can't come
So
back. Even if it's allegations, alleged, just anything, it's hard to recover from that, man. So